Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. It's kind of weird that I'm still putting so much focus on saying recording when right now I'm not even recording an episodic series. The next episodic series I'll be recording will be probably a Telltale game. But to talk about Hearthstone for a second, we're gonna do Rogue and Warrior, so let's try that. Guess I want to focus more on a Rogue deck, since I think right now my Rogue deck might be slightly better than my Warrior deck. Maybe they're both pretty much garbage. So, like I kind of mentioned last recording, I'm looking at my scheduling and looking at age ratings and looking at let's see, I'll keep all three of these. Looking at things like that. So one of the things I've already mentioned is I'm looking at the time to record something. How long it takes to play. Is this a 2-hour game, a 20-hour game, a 40-hour game, a 60-hour game type thing? And so that led me to the next logical step, which sadly for me, logical steps don't always immediately just show up in my mind. I usually have to sleep on it for a couple weeks and then come back. But
feed the fish, lover.
Darn, I was hoping this would hit it twice.
Ha-ha!
Oh well.
Job's done.
So I'm gonna start now. If it is a 2-hour game, obviously it's a 30-minute series. I don't think I'd ever do 30-minute, shorter than 30 minutes, because 30 minutes for video games is already pretty short.
Trust the pirate's code.
Hope this doesn't screw up. Probably can't cast a spell. It's probably a counter spell trap here. So if it's a real short thing, it's just going to be a short series at 30 minutes. If it's a 20-hour game, if I did 30 minutes, that would be 40 episodes. 40 episodes, you're talking 8 weeks. That's a little too long. What do I want to do with this? Then summon this guy, I believe. Would be the right move. Attack here. I cast a spell and it didn't. Didn't I cast a spell? I guess I didn't. So if it's a 20-hour game, I'd probably I would do 1 hour. If it's a 40-hour game, you're talking probably should be 2 hours, but I might move that to only 1.5 hours and just go for a slightly longer series. I'm not inherently just shooting for a straight 1 month or 4 week run of every series. And obviously if it's a 6-hour game, a 60-hour game, I'm going 1 hour and 45 minutes to maybe 2 hours. 60-hour game, if I play 2-hour chunks per day, that's quite long episodes. anything that goes over an hour, as far as my time slots, does bite right into the next series. I should have played this. We'll play this instead.
What you got there?
Doesn't matter, we're gonna win.
It's a deal.
Die, landlubber!
So when you talk like Skyrim or Borderlands, which some people say Borderlands is a 60-hour game, I don't particularly buy into that. I saw some of the websites saying that, and I'm like, no. I remember playing way more than 60 hours on that. I remember playing at least twice all the way through, if not more, and the game does have, just Borderlands 1 has 4 different characters, so in theory you could have a very different experience as playing it at least 4 times through. So if one run is 60 hours, you're talking 280. Skyrim, 200 plus hours. Witcher 3 was 200 plus hours. Witcher 3 went for nearly 4 months. I think what we're gonna do for anything that goes that can be broken up will be broken up. So, for example, on The Witcher 3, there was specific missions that if I had just stuck to one mission and just done that mission, I would have made that just be an episode. On The Witcher 3 in particular, there was a lot of things that weren't missions also, so that makes it a little bit more difficult
Battle commencing.
pull out and label those ones, but I could certainly keep that to an hour. I think what we'll end up doing is we will potentially do a morning release of episodes.
Is someone injured?
Schedule something to do earlier. Right now we have this whole block that is somewhat around US times. Yeah, well, it is around US times. Central time zone, United States.
Battle commencing.
GMT -6, basically. I think is what it is. Anyways, so if I went 12 hours the other direction, if one episode of Witcher 3 was at 4 and the next episode was at 4 in the morning, that almost satisfies nobody. I don't know how many people are going to want to watch 2 episodes in a row of something that long.
Greetings from beyond.
2 damage to the enemy hero. So
Stop
just
moving!
attack that guy. Why not? So yeah, I really don't know what to do. If we start going the weekend route, if we were gonna do Skyrim and Borderlands, it does kind of, I start to think, well, maybe I'll just put that on the weekends, and we'll run through the game. We'll do 5 episodes on Saturday, 5 episodes on Sunday, type stuff. That would give something different, let people who are bored on the weekends and still somehow have watched all my other series something to watch, or just don't want to watch my other series. I'm not heavily thinking I'm gonna do episodes that are 3 hours long, but I am labeling things as specific lengths, and figuring that out before I start recording. And it certainly could change on the fly as I'm recording. If I get into a game and I said, well, this game is 30 minutes episodes, but nothing has happened in 30 minutes, which can be the problem. Let's see. I can certainly change it to an hour-long episode and just shorter series. Perhaps doing shorter series lets things come and go a lot better, but I don't know if that's losing fans or gaining fans if series come too quick. I don't know what the ideal length of a AAA series should be. Should it go for a month? Should it go for 2 months, 3 months? I think 4 months is probably too long. I think less than 1 month, or less than like 3 weeks is probably too short. Alright, so this is a 3. Let's go ahead and kill this one. So it will take both of his attacks now to kill my berserker, leaving my Mookless champion alone. Unless he does something like that.
We
Now
must
I'm just
cleanse the
boned.
sun well.
So, let me know in the comments, I suppose. That I say that a lot because I really just don't know. I really don't have an idea
Enjoy raiding!
as to how to better handle things. What happens a lot on the YouTubers I've watched, and the Let's Players, is people get bored and they stop. I don't want to ever get bored and stop. And I certainly don't want to expand or speed up releases. So I want to try to keep everything balanced.
Ready your left!
Bend to my command.
Play this.
Done.
And then if you look at like some of the bigger people, they don't do Let's Plays at all. Like Giant Bomb does quick looks, they don't do Let's Plays. That was something that when they started, video game companies were certainly not willing or happy about. Some companies still aren't very willing or happy about people playing games all the way through. So the Giant Bomb, for when you don't look at it as quick looks, it is just a considerable amount of
Try this.
Back to work!
articles being written.
Suffer.
I think I may have just lost, but I think I would have lost anyway either, regardless.
Job's done.
So that's the end of me. I could, if I had an unlimited budget, do quick looks type thing. Just completely only show the first hour of a game and then make some commentary about it based on the fact that I've played the game off screen and have played it almost all the way through. Usually when they're doing a quick looks, they've played it almost all the way through on Giant Bomb. Or they've played it all the way through. Sometimes they will just go in on it completely blind, but usually not. Usually there's a host person who's actually playing the game and knows what's going on, and then they'll bring in a friend to bounce off conversation with, and the friend doesn't know anything about the game, or does know something about the game but plays dumb. But then the way they do their job is what I'm trying to compare here, and probably not doing a good job of it, is that they totally play video games non-stop and don't get much content out of it at all. They will play an entire game and they will write a 3 to 5 paragraph review of it that not that many people will read. If I was a good writer, which I'm not going to claim I am, but
Want a deal?
I'm sure I could write a 3 to 5 paragraph review of a 60-hour game pretty easily, because it's easy to be concise and take notes, and I could just take what I'm recording now and take all the good points I made, polish those up just a little bit, and it wouldn't be that difficult.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
Darn, I was hoping this would hit that. Whatever, we'll hit this.
Job done.
But that is an incredible amount of time that you're spending. And they talk about it. They talk about how they are playing video games off the time that they're getting paid. So it's not like they're coming into their work at whatever time in the morning, and then starting to play games for 8 hours, then they go home and then they don't play games. No, it's they play almost all the games when they are not at work, and then they come to work and then they take phone calls and meetings and do interviews and do all these extra things that are really away from playing video games. So when you start looking at that style and that work,
Blood and plunder.
the question is, how far is that really taking them away from the video game world of normal people who would be playing video games? Darn, explosive trap. Oh well.
Here we go.
Job done.
Because you know what regular video game player people don't do? They don't go and interview the creators of the games. They don't take phone calls from the press people. They don't get extra information. All they do is play the games. And so I feel like argument could be made that how I'm doing it is more realistic than a real gamer. You're seeing me actually play the game. Almost always 100% of the gameplay is recorded, unless I'm specifically saying that this would just be boring for you to watch and deciding not to do that.
Go.
Job done.
Almost could have won right there. So, but that does come about and bring that problem of, well, how do I just get all this footage out? I think what it's going to come down to is that I will always on my channel be releasing a lot more footage than people that do it a different way. I will just, it probably isn't going to be quality footage or anything like that. I'm not trying to make that claim that it's quality or anything. It's just gameplay footage. It's just the Twitch streaming type model, except for instead of streaming with my internet being as fast as it should be, not being as fast as it should be, it's just not going to be that high. So ideally what I would have wanted right there would have been the poison. Let's see, if I destroy this and then equip this, I can attack again. So I can attack this, and I can attack this and win. Great, victory. Maybe down the line, if I could afford an editor, I would be fine with some editor coming back and making edits to the original. But why not just put the original out too? Why not let the consumer choose? I'm sure if movies said, here's the unedited of raw footage, not just like, here's the footage that was cut at the last stage of editing, but here's the raw footage, 500 hours of a movie. You go wild with watching it however you want. I'm sure there would be people there that would want to do that. I'm sure there would be. I don't know if we're gonna get 3 episodes here. We may end up doing 3 episodes, but just the last episode not being anything but maybe some rank play. We'll just play ranked, I suppose.
Rexa versus Valera.
But editing is right now a major pain.
Begin.
There are some editing things I would like to go back and fix, like going back and re-editing all the Witcher things and putting pixelation over the things YouTube won't allow or says they don't allow. I don't know if they really would have had a problem with it or not. But if I had an editor, I'd send them back to that and I'd say, go take that and just pixelate it, and then instead of cut the entire scenes. It would help a little bit. If I had a voice editor that would go and make me sound better, take all the uhs and ums out, that would be great. You would probably feel like the production quality would be significantly increased if I did that. If I could, if somebody making art isn't quite editing though, so that is more of a different thing, but I would like more art to be made. Things like FTL, if that was edited down, those episodes would be a lot shorter. But in the end, I still only got like 4 victories in that entire series, so the real editing down to that would have been turned what was probably a month or 2 of footage into a week of footage, which starts to get crazy, and then gets right back into the whole usual game journalist setup where you are spending ridiculous amounts of time not creating the actual footage. It makes video game journalism become 99% research like it, and that's how it used to be. Instead of production, and in my mind, and maybe my mind is flawed in thinking this way, that doesn't seem like that helps or is the way I want to go with it. Use the skill and attack the face. What other series would I edit? If I had a dedicated editor, I might
shall not fall.
edit out some crashes or just bugs, but I think it's real important not to do that too, because reality needs to be shown. We don't need to I don't want anybody to ever ask me, how come all the games you play never crash or have much bugs, while all the games on my computer are crashing like crazy. I don't want that perception to be put out. I do play a lot of games that have no problems at all. In particular, the Tomb Raider games, all made by about the same people, have some trouble with graphics. The Witcher 3 had some trouble with graphics. And the Talos Principle had some trouble with graphics because they were all, at their time at least, top of the line games that I don't think were programmed very well as far as graphics and then the NVIDIA recommendation thing is probably screwing me over because it is telling me to turn up the resolutions and all the features to what the maximum my video card can handle, but it doesn't really have a setting or a way to adjust that, saying, well, also you're going to be recording, so we need 20% or 50% of the video processing power for that. Now, if I'm lucky, I might be able to figure out a way to get a second video card. For it to work in SLI, it has to, of course, be the same video card as the one I already have, which means it is going to be a $350 video card, which is quite a lot more to spend on top of what has already been spent for my computer. But if I get that, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that double the power will eliminate that. And as long as right now I'm just focusing on older things, I've lost. As long as right now as I'm focusing on older games and independent games that aren't really driving the graphics, I think I'm not going to run into that too much. Well, that kind of sucked. See, it's been 30 minutes right now, and I want to do one more game. I was still trying to keep the Hearthstones to around 45 minutes, but I might very well have to get to the point where I'm doing 30-minute episodes. Shorter Hearthstone episodes, not a big deal.
Watch your back.
I haven't reached at any point the thought of doing doing 30-minute time slots. Pretty much, I'm still in the mindset of releasing things on the hour, regardless of whether they're 30-minute shows or hour shows
Ready
or
for
hour
action.
and 45-minute shows. I think that kind of solves a lot of problems. I also don't really feel like I'm going to be in a situation anytime soon where I have so many views that it would actually get me even one more view if I move something from on the hour to 5 minutes past the hour, or 5 minutes before the hour, or 30 minutes in, or 30 minutes, well, 30 minutes out would be the same as 30 minutes in.
Job's done.
I guess I should have used the coin and bought this guy out, because then it would have been a 2-1 and killed him, and not wasted my explosive trap.
Ready for action.
This is our town, scrub.
Yeah, beat it.
So yeah, what was I talking about? I don't even remember now. Just scheduling stuff, trying to figure out the schedule. And what I would edit. Of all the series I've done, and some of them at this point I've probably done and forgotten. I don't think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be edited. There was the edits to the Game of Thrones game that had to be done because of copyright claims that I
Well
wish
met.
could be undone, but
Reporting for duty.
that is the only thing I can think of. See, I could kill this guy, but that's about it. And otherwise he'll just kill this guy, so I might as well take some damage and kill the strongest. What does that do? Shuffles 3 things. When drawn, you summon a 4/4 Nevian. I don't think I'm gonna last long enough to draw one of those.
The beasts obey
Yep,
me.
I'm about to lose, so let's just end the turn and then end this episode. It's gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode, that's fine. We need to do three recordings per recording session. We're doing well in every single aspect, really. There's nothing here to be upset about. Come on,
Job's done.
let me win, or I'm gonna. Either he wins this time, or I'm gonna concede. There's enough here for him to win. I'm just itching to concede if he's gonna end this turn.
Reporting for duty.
He had,
Fought. I can see.
he had opportunity to take the victory, and he didn't choose to. So anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording. We still have a little to work on next recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out, If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.